in the top class. Such happy memories, of course, as well for Marquez here. He was crowned MotoGP World Champion in 2014, 2016 and 2018. But
our leading title contender, Jack Miller, who was fastest on Friday, starts 7th ahead of Miguel Oliveira and Fabio up his incredible summer run of form. Marco Bezzecchi, Franco Morbidelli and Enea Bastianini on ride out of position. Tetsuta Nagashima starts 19th. We'll hear from him in a moment. Remy Gardner have Cal Crutchlow on 23rd position. Either side of him are rookies, Ralph Fernandez and Darren Bishop.
Just to recover after an Aragon, Motegi, Buriram triple header before we have Philip
on the grid. He's gone for the softer rear.
So a first front row start in MotoGP for KTM rider Brad Binder on the front row again in his 100th Grand Prix start in MotoGP. Another injury-ravaged season for Marc Marquez. He is working his way back to his best then. The warm-up lap underway then here for the Motul Grand Prix. Can he make it 3 on the spin here? Starting from pole, as he mentioned, for the first time in 1,000. He returned to winning ways though here today. Lewis, you'll be able to bring us all the up-to-date information on the latest key late tyre changes.
Well, our information is we are back in Japan. Hello Japan, we've missed you for 3 years. MotoGP is ready to entertain once again, but the riders have switched to the hard air tyre.
Lights out, and we're underway here in MotoGP Japan 2022. Really good start from pole position by Marc Marquez. Likewise from the man on the front row, Brad Binder, who'll get the whole shot. The South African sweeps up the inside of Marc.
Has had a great start as well on the second of the KTMs. He's up into 4th now.
Can you believe it? It's Jorge Martin Zarco, I think, had a terrible start from the front row. There he is, back in sort of 7th or 8th place. There was
two contenders who started from the grid. Fabio Quartararo is still running in 9th position. Pecco Bagnaia is up 1 position into 11th. In fact, I think he's just been up
on the gate, trying to find out exactly what was the issue.
Look at Miller.
Jack Miller getting aggressive. He picks up Oliveira and Marquez down into the 90 degrees.
Up in 6th from Zarco and Marini. Quartararo still in 9th position. He's got Paul Espargaro between himself and Alex.
I've made no progress. They started 9th and 12th respectively. That's where they came over the line. Here comes Bagnaia, tight inside line.
No way through.
Trying to get through Marini. Marini just at the end of the warm-up lap, he dropped that stricken RSGP and pit lane before his mechanics could get hold of it onto the spare bike. Alex Espargaro, no great corner, decelerating down the gearbox. 4 gears from 6, just over 300 kilometers an hour into the 90 degree. Miller up into 2nd.
So Marc Marquez currently in 5th. It's Miguel Oliveira just ahead of him, who's the fastest rider on circuit at the moment. The factory KTM man from 8th up to 4th. He's just in a 1.
Crayford reported from pit lane. We'll try and find exactly what happened. There'll be a big inquest going on down the factory Aprilia garage. Aleix Espargaro then
for a medium rear, so the team were clearly telling him, by the way, Aleix, your bike you're currently on actually has a soft rear in it.
So top end of the circuit, the hairpin cut. By side the 2 factory Ducatis. Miller will have the advantage on Jorge Martin coming into the final sector through turns 12 and 13. Miller leads at the start of lap 4 here in Japan on 1:45.472. Miller on a different level.
As we look back at Fabio Quartararo, who's coming under pressure here from Luca Marini. Quartararo still running in 8th position, and Brockes, his teammate, has.
Yeah, at the moment, Aleix Espargaro, the damage to his championship, not that severe, is it? After his on the inside of Bagnaia, safely through down the hill into turn number 11, although Bagnaia just says, no, you're not having that. Straight back underneath him through the 90.
Marini, though, has now passed Quartararo for 8th.
Miller's pace at the front of this Grand Prix is absolute place. Binder still holding on to 3rd, Oliveira 4th, 2 factory KTMs inside the top 4. Great day here for them so far in Japan.
Yeah, here's the move from Marini. Does Quartararo maybe make a mistake here into turn 1? Just takes the apex balloons a little bit wide and the door opens up, and Marini is Ducati. It doesn't compromise him on the exit either. Have
we just seen that? A Ducati turning tighter and better than a Yamaha. Miguel Oliveira then fires up the inside of his teammate Brad Binder into turn 9. That's an inter-team struggle going on there between the two. Get the whole shot, lead the Grand Prix and take advantage of that extra grip. It didn't work out right from the get-go. Miller, that's 3 laps in a row now that Jack Miller has set.
Zarco there makes a mistake, so that has promoted his countryman Quartararo up a place back into 8th. But Aleix Espargaro is as fast as the leading 3, or certainly as fast as Oliveira in 3rd.
And who started in 2nd place. Not the way that Zarco wanted to celebrate his 100th Grand Prix in MotoGP. The Ducati management cannot.
Yeah, they'll be watching that battle through the gaps in their fingers, and of course both Bagnaia and Bastianini will probably be able to see up. So this is the battle then between the factory KTMs, who we said before the race got underway, they seem to have made progress recently, particularly with their qualifying pace. Oliveira and Bastianini and Bagnaia, they're now starting to get held up by Paul Espargaro. You could see them sort of bottling up behind that Repsol Honda into the victory corner, so it's important now.
Route today here in Japan. At the moment, a man who's having a phenomenal race here in Motegi is your race leader Jack Miller, who's second place, 8/10. In fact, he's just come through the third sector now and found another 10th. Miller building up an advantage which will be on this, even though he's in a relatively lowly 8th by his exceptionally high standards. Fabio Quartararo on course to increase his world. We have to mention the fact that, of course, Jack Miller, should we be surprised? Should we be shocked that he's dominating this Grand Prix in our only full dry session of this weekend so far?
Where he perhaps expected to lose some points to the Ducatis. Speaking of Ducatis, here's one on the move, Luca Marini, who's got some serious
practice on the softer tyres, but he's on the hard rear. I think he can go all the way.
I think you're absolutely right, Simon, because he's just stretching away. Miller has just set another fast.
Lowest rider in the leading 15, so something clearly happened on that lap. Yellows are out in sector 1. It's Tetsuta Nagashima, sadly, who...
Grand Prix coming up in Philippines in a few weeks' time, straight after the Thai Grand Prix in Buriram. He's getting married. He said...
How about a win bonus?
Yeah, a win bonus coming here for Jack Miller. This is awesome stuff by the Aussie. Bastianini, Jorge Martin on that last lap because he did a 47 flat, yeah. He made a mistake somewhere, didn't he? Now that has given Miller what surely is already an unassailable advantage.
Go with Anea Bastianini. Bastianini passed him a lap or two ago and he's quickly left him behind and moved here on rear wheel of leader. He looks like he's going to be losing ground at this stage.
Luca Marini just threatening to show Maverick Vinales a front wheel. There goes Bastianini then through on Polispard number 10. He's back in the 45s as well, but Miller still took 2/10 out of him to increase his lead. Oh, that's probably not going to implement team orders. It's a free-for-all, isn't it? And now Bastianini perfectly within his rights. If there are no instructions not to be a red flag, we could have a red flag here. We could have a red flag.
He needs to get off the circuit.
Takuya Suda, the Suzuki Wildcat, number 12, is half race distance, short off here in Motegi. Look at this pace here from Thriller Miller.
Nervous because these guys are coming through now and we're going to find out if there's any oil down. They've got yellow flags, no oil flags. Touch one.
Towards what will be his 4th victory in the MotoGP World Championship. His advantage is going to be very quickly 4 seconds. At the moment, this is a good...
Able to get ready within a second of this particular dice up ahead of him. If they start battling with each other, that might bring him into contention, but Quartararo's going to have trouble.
Brilliant work he's been doing, all and done very, very quickly. Marini goes through. They're side by side in the braking zone now, one of the hardest braking zones in Motegi to turn number 3. Marini through then into top 6.
We've seen on a few occasions earlier on this season Marini with good late race pace, so keep an eye out for him in the latter stages. Darren Binder, I just saw his name sliding down the order, so I think Darren Binder is out of this Grand Prix. There is your confirmation that he has crashed out.
Second podium of the season. It's all in the hands of this man on the number 43 factory Ducati. Look at the advantage that Jack Miller has here. This is now just a test of Miller's focus.
7th place and 9 valuable World Championship points if he can get past his former Yamaha teammate, of course. So Vinales
corner. Brad Binder got up the inside of him, and since then Marc Marquez has just been in a relatively lonely 5th place. He just can't get with the MotoGP in Japan for Hamamatsu factory Suzuki. The big engine blowout for as well, so a nightmare for the factory Suzuki team. 2 retirements for them, not the way they wanted to say farewell to MotoGP. In front
to talk down his potential victory prospects yesterday, didn't we? And we weren't sure whether to believe him, but clearly Marc Marquez knows his body better than any of us, and he has been proven right in this Grand Prix. Not
5 seconds, and there's just 7.5 laps of this Mobil Grand Prix of Japan remaining. It all went horribly wrong right from the get-go.
To make a late switch on the grid, he went to the medium rear tyre. Now we look back to that battle for 4th position. Braro at bay, just a few tenths of a second separating the 2 former teammates.
It's been a pretty unforgettable afternoon so far for Johann Zarco, who started in 2nd place. He's going to come over the line in a distance to get himself back into point-scoring contention, although we have to say there's not really been massive damage inflicted to him here right now with Quartararo 8.
Also the physical strain. It is a really physical circuit here on your upper body, and of course Marc Marquez, with that reason, he operated humerus and his right shoulder, did a 146
for the Italian.
He's got 6 laps to try and make that time up. Aleix Espargaro is fast running out of time to try and score any points. He's doing it.
Yeah, 45.616. He has found his rhythm late on here. And Brad Binder, he's just starting to close in here. Binder, credit to him, a 145.745. This battle of a second
time there was earlier in the weekend, and they're being pleasantly surprised by how much they've got in these latter stages. Vinales and Quartararo also set personal best last.
Yeah, he fancies 7th here. He fancies having a crack at Quartararo and Vinales, not just Bastianini ahead of him. What can he do? He is running out of time. He's got 4 laps and a couple of corners remaining. It will not be easy to pass an airbag move going through that third gear, turn 12. There was nothing that the beast could do about that one. So now he clown. You could bet your house that he would do, but this is a fight just for 9th place. It would carry a big risk, wouldn't it, if he was trying to make patty towards the 90-degree corner on lap 21 of 24. Miller over 5 seconds clear now. This is
and it was another half-second loss for Martin on the last lap, of 46.0 for Brad Binder. He's now just 0.3 of a second behind as one KTM. So much more confidence under braking to try and make a move on Jorge Martin. This feels like a matter of time, really. He's not got much time to make this move, Brad Binder, but he is visible.
On Miguel Oliveira. Oliveira couldn't turn in, so Marc Marquez on that soft rear tyre. As we mentioned, that's fantastic late race speed. There'll be some severe with the back of Jorge Martin. Now this is the difference between the medium rear tyre that Martin has and Binder's hard rear tyre. At this stage of the Grand Prix, conventional wisdom will suggest that Binder
on position and 1 World Championship point, but this is the difference between an 11-point championship lead for Quartararo and a 9-point lead if Bagnaia can get through him.
Always a Sunday man, isn't he? Marc Marquez still resisting Miguel Oliveira, who's champion. Here comes Oliveira trying to make a move on the inside of turn 9. He will not be close enough.
Yeah, and Bagnaia's not close enough. Bastianini had to hang on.
You know it's coming. Binder he's going to go for it. There's no way on the last lap that Brad Binder is not going to have the line. Quartararo gets the pit board. Directly behind him is Pecco Bagnaia. G3, that means a group of 3. Bagnaia trying to attack on the... He's just kept that better tyre life.
Oh no!
Pecco Bagnaia's crashed! Can you believe it? What an error by Staff. He goes for the inside move on Fabio Quartararo. He almost collected.
You're not allowed to turn in there, Quartararo into the corner. Bagnaia makes the mistake.
There will be no